was walking out and I just saw a giant face, and I can't remember what it said, but all I remember is it like just a giant face floating. It wasn't like a head. It was more like just the face. I remember the first time like spiritual ghost thing that I ever saw. It was up in North Carolina, and I've never told this to anybody. Or I don't think I've told anybody, but I was with some friends outside playing soccer with some friends, and when I was younger, anytime I I'd turn fast, like in that split second, I'd see something, and I don't remember everything, but the only thing that I do remember is one time when we were playing soccer, I did the same thing. I turned fast, and then I saw an old man. He had like, I think it was a rake, and he was just raking like this, and in that split second, I saw him go from like this and not move fast, but like that, look at me and wave. And, I thought, oh, elderly person, let me look back and wave back, give him respect. Um, but when I turned back, I didn't see nobody. And then years later, I came down to my grandparents' house, and that happened up in North Carolina. We came down to Texas, and in my grandparents' house on the wall, they had a picture of that same elderly person. What turns out, it's my grandma's, or it was my grandma's father. So I don't think I even told my grandma, but I don't know. Maybe he was just checking up on me, or I don't know when he died. I don't know if he was like saying his goodbyes to me, just check on me one more time, or he had already passed away and he was just checking up on me again. So, anyways, that was when I was like, got some hay up my nose. That was when I was like 6, 7 years old, maybe. Years later, I remember I heard this story about like if you see a giant face. I forgot what the story behind it is or the lore behind it, but I don't know if it's supposed to be like good luck or bad luck. But I remember one time I was like crashing out, and I had this very vivid dream. We're living at a trader once at the point at this time. I got off my bed and I went to the kitchen, either to get food or water. I don't remember, or just go to the living room. I was walking out and I just saw a giant face, and I can't remember what it said, but all I remember is it like just a giant face floating. It wasn't like a head. It was more like just the face, and I don't remember the color. I don't know if I can like see through it, and all I could see was the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. But it just freaking screamed, and I woke up terrified. Anyways, a year later, I'll probably look it up later, but y'all can look it up too if y'all want. There is something behind that, and I can't remember what it was, but anyways, in that same trailer, one time I was it was late at night, maybe like 11, 12. I think it was a summer night, so I was laying in bed, and all of a sudden I hear kids playing. They're playing outside, like laughing, and I'm like, that's weird, because this trailer was in an alley, and like I said, it was pretty late at night, and there was no parties going on at the time, so it's not like, oh, it's just a party over there. They're probably playing over there, and I hear them over here. But no, I opened up the window and I ain't see nothing, and thought that was pretty creepy. And I'm bringing that up because later, um, in the house that we're living at right now, I have kids now. I have a son and a daughter, but I've heard like kids playing when I'm home alone. I've heard footsteps when I'm alone, so I'm like, I don't know if that's the same kids following me around. I don't know. My I would have had a little brother, but he passed away. He was born stillborn. So I don't know. Maybe it's him just following me around, watching over me or whatever. But I mean, it's creepy. But I mean, it's nice. But you ain't got to be creep about it. But anyways, um, after that trailer, we had some more houses. When I finally moved out of I had a house at a dairy, and dairies give they don't give houses out, but they let you live in it while you're working. I know a lot of places they actually let you buy it. If they like you, they'll sell it to you. Um, but anyways, this one I'm not saying I was a good worker, but this one they gave me a house. All I had to do was I knew everything about the dairy. They told me, well, you got to learn how to feed if you want the house. That way, if there's anything about the dairy, we can call you. You'll be like on call 24/7. Which I think they only called me to help like once. So I mean, it wasn't too bad. I didn't want to go there because I didn't want that house because they've offered it to me like a few times. And I told them, hell no, I don't want to be like getting called up at 2 in the morning. Hey, one of our milkers left. You got to come in. Like, hell, I don't want to be doing that. But I regret not going in earlier. I should have got it a lot sooner than that. But anyways, in that house, one time when I was feeding, the house was like in the corner, and then there's this road that went to the back, and the whole dairy was right here. The corner right here. And then I was coming from the back because that's where we, loaded up the truck to get it ready to feed and all that. And I had finished, and on this side also, it was to fill up with diesel and gasoline for the smaller vehicles that they used around there. Anyways, I had finished filling it up, and then my wife, I don't know if she was off that day, or she got home early. Can't remember which one, but she was home. Anyways, I was on the phone with her, talking to her, telling her, I'm about to be off. I'm about to turn that corner right there, and at that window, she was in the it was in the kitchen or the dining room area, and then the kitchen, like they're kind of side by side. It was a pretty nice house. She was in the kitchen, and I told her, hey, well, I didn't tell her. I'm like, I waved at her because I saw her out the window, like like as she like held the blinds to the side and just looking at me and like just watching like me pass by. So I'm like, I waved and she didn't wave back. So I'm like, hey, what the hell? Why didn't you wave back? She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, you're out there at the window. I'm waving at you. She's like, no, I'm not. I look back and I can still see something there staring at me. And later on, she told me, I wasn't creeped out. We had the kitchen table where we sat down to eat. We had it right there, and she said, I was right here. I was next to the window. She's like, I turned back, I saw nothing, but I didn't feel scared or anything. So I don't know, maybe it was a good ghost. In that same house, both my wife and I have seen shadows pass through the little hallway. It was like a little hallway where our room was here, and then the little hallway, then the restroom was right there. And then you keep going, and then there's another door, and there's a spare bedroom right there. We didn't have kids at the time. It was just me and her. But a few times my little brother and sister would come over. And one time they were over, where I said, I can't remember if my little brother was with her or not. But she said, I saw a shadow go from the spare bedroom to our room. And she said, maybe it was my little sister. But she said, it was too tall. The shadow was like touching like, not the ceiling, but that one thing that's right on top of the door, whatever, that little wall, little part. So it was pretty big, and it passed by. And then me too. I've seen that shadow. I think I saw it like 2 or 3 times. And yeah, it's just like how she said. It's pretty big, and it's really, but like in broad daylight, like a shadow, like the one you're seeing like right here, like it's like that dark. Like those are the type of shadows that we saw in that hallway, passing from one room to the other. And in that same house, I was right there cutting up. I was doing something there. And then I turn up and I see a little boy with like striped shirt, like that he turned away and ran away. I didn't see his face. I don't remember the pants. I don't remember the shoes. I don't remember anything. All I remember is the shirt. Him running away. I'm like, I thought that was my little brother because the day that I came over, he had a striped shirt. So I'm like, what the hell? So I went over there. I'll go to the room and they're sleeping on my bed, and I'm looking. And I'm like, he's still asleep. It's like he's not breathing hard. Where like, oh, he ran and he like trying to scare me. Like I knew it wasn't him. Plus the door was closed, and if you know anything about houses, like you can't open a door and close it without making some sort of noise. We had carpet, so I would have heard that, like the little scrubbing thing, scrubbing sound that the doors make whenever they rub against the carpet. My wife had a lot of nightmares about that house. Like one time, this is the only one I remember right now. She says she had a dream about some lady, I think it was a lady, that there was an elevator under our sink where the little drawers, little cabinets, whatever, are under the door. Said that they opened up and like a woman on a wheelchair came out, and if I remember correctly, I think she like fell off and like started crawling at her, and that's the only thing I remember. This house that I'm currently living at, I came home one day. I was working a 12-hour shift, so I can't remember if I came home at 6:30 in the morning, or I was off that day and I came outside. Either way, I came outside to the back, and at the time we only had 2 goats. And if you know anything about goats, goats sound, when they scream, they sound like a woman being murdered. Okay? I know this because for the first time I ever heard a goat, I was at my in-laws, and they had goats. Well, I don't know if we were walking to the back or walking inside, but I heard a goat. I heard a screaming, and I thought somebody's getting murdered. So my wife saw that, and like she saw like I turned, and she's like, it's just a goat. She saw that I was about to run over there, because I'm like, if a woman's getting murdered over there, I'm gonna go over there and like at least see who did it and then run away. So I'm not about to get murdered. And anyways, yeah, I was right here, and the goats were inside of the barn, and I'm pointing over here because y'all clearly see the barns right here. The goats were inside. I was over here. I don't know if I was getting water because at the time we didn't have water in the barn, but I was standing over here, and I heard a woman getting murdered. I heard a woman screaming like she was getting murdered behind the barn. And I don't know if y'all can't see, but I live out in the middle of nowhere. Literally, the closest neighbor I've got is over there, about half a mile away. Yeah, about half a mile away. But I mean, unless they're murdering people, might have been them, and they've been getting away with murder this entire time. Anyways, but I heard it behind the barn. And like at the time, I don't think there was any silage. I'm talking about like corn or anything. So it was just like how you saw a while ago back here. Like there's nothing there. Like I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see anybody. And then I forgot what else. I remember we heard something else over here, and it wasn't no coyotes. And my wife, playfully said it's a Wendigo. But I don't know. We've heard those 2 things, and we've heard weird things around the house. We never really actually seen anything, as far as I remember right now. We've heard a lot of things that are creepy, and that might be like a Wendigo type of deal. It's just pretty scary. But anyways, that's all the stories I got for y'all today, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for clicking on the video. And please press the like and subscribe. Leave me a comment with the question.